Well, wow. Let's turn those down. Trusty old friend there, it picks up everything. I get a little closer, it pick up my heartbeat. Maybe I should try that one time. Okay. Maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. Anyway, so the news of the day, if you can see on the screen right here, look at that huge storm. It fills up almost the entire Atlantic basin. The center of the storm, literally the eye of the hurricane. They don't like to call them hurricanes when they get past a certain height. This one has two centers of low. There's one down here. See the L? Let's see if I can. There we go. Get a full screen version of this. See that? That's when the planes fly through and determine where the low pressure is. That's one. But embedded in that is another low pressure. I'm going to zoom out and come back over here. See, there's another one. And the weather folks have a demarcation line. And then we come back a little bit. This software package is called My Radar Pro. No spaces between My and Radar on the App Store. You see that? It's almost like a whole low ridge line there, which, there we go. See, oops. There we go. There's a whole. This is serious stuff. So everybody, the 75 million people, can you believe it, that live in this whole zone here, from Wilmington, Delaware, past Halifax, you better be inside. Because if you're in a car and get stuck, you may be dead. Because this is cold. This big down, you can see the center of rotation, and it's pulling incredibly cold air into this center of, I mean, look at that. That's like Hurricane Sandy stuff. See, now they called Hurricane Sandy Hurricane Sandy because it was called Hurricane Sandy when it was way down in Florida. And when it gets up to a certain, like North Carolina, they don't call them hurricanes anymore. They're escapes me right now. So that's not good. So. And since it wasn't a hurricane when it was down below, it never got named. So this is, Oh, see here, look at all see all the lightning strikes. See those little flashes. This actually locates and shows you where the lightning strikes are. Which means those clouds are all 40,000 foot high. It doesn't look like much on the radar here, but it's serious. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is this center rotation, which is humongous. Here goes down to Jacksonville, for God's sakes. And we'll probably be pulling, see, it pulls moisture up, and it circulates down. It gets pulled down in with the cold air. It's really cold air, right? I mean, some of these states are, 0 degrees. So that is, the Bahamas right now are getting whacked. You can see this band right here that's, so this is, the little blue dots where we are. I mean, we're exactly there. We can zero in. Let's zero in. Zero in. We just keep zeroing in. Yep, there we are. Can you believe this? I mean, this. It's like amazing. We're right there. We're right on that part of the building. Okay. Dangerous rip currents, so we're not going to swim. Cancel the swimming. I don't know where we get that. There we go. Now let's zoom back out on the planet. This big, big planet we live on. And we'll go. Let's New Jersey. Let's just touch that. See if we get do we get a weather statement? If we get a weather statement, let's try that. There it is. Blizzard. Oh my God. That's not good. You don't want blizzard. Until 7 p.m. These are all the counties. Warning blizzard. Warning remains in effect. Yeah. So you don't have, you have snow accumulations from 8 to 13 inches, but the winds are gusting over 45 miles an hour. So don't mess with that. That's for sure. So all these. Let's see. Yep, blizzard warning. All right, let's see if we can find Robin. I have a daughter mixed up in this somewhere. She's in, oops. There's Washington. There's Annapolis. So she's right. Potomac. See Potomac. There it is. Potomac. There we go. Let's see if we get a weather statement for Potomac. I'm sure it's all the same. Charlottesville, same thing. I have a sun over there somewhere. Charlottesville. So that's a tricky spot right there. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what county she's in. But, winter storm warning. So at least it's not blizzard. Blizzard is like in this zone right here. Blizzard, yeah. See, you got that incredible downdraft. This thing is circulating. You know, it's like this is a weather thing of the for sure of the decade. Look how big that is. Pretty serious stuff. All right. So I took another picture with my phone. So it's Saturday, and we have epidemic sound. In the background. That's Marilyn had a crab cake. Look how gorgeous that is. Let's do a live edit right here on live TV. So I'm going to hit the auto button there. And I'm going to turn up the contrast. Looks like it was partly cloudy inside the restaurant. So we have a button here where I can go over to Photoshop Express. Here it comes. And we hit adjustments and then details all the way over here. See, dehaze. There's a button right there. Bingo. And we just dehaze it. Look at that. It takes partly cloudy out of there. Now we gotta come over here to white. We need the white. No, we need, I'm sorry, temperature. You see the plate? It got a little focaccia with the color of the plate. There we go, we slide that sucker and get those blues out of there. Yeah, nice bright white plate. Yes. See Marilyn's phone in the background. Good. Let's try contrast. I'm going back to the temperature. The plate is not white. The plate has got to be white. So, oops. There we go. You go too far, it turns yellow. And you go too little, it turns blue. So, white. White is white. And let's come down from this side to get white. That's about as white as we can get. Okay, so now we're going to say done. Get out of Photoshop Express. Now we're editing in the regular apps that are included with when you get your iPhone or iPad. It's part of the iPhone package. So now I'm going to hit this auto button. Now that we've done a little, see if that helps. So on, off, on. Brightens it up just a tad. I'm going to come over way down here. This app has a color button also. So we're going to use that one. And warmth, and not so warm. And see, look at the color of the plate. Because we know white is white. That's it right there. Look at that crab cake. Oh, God. That sucker is so good. It's unbelievable. It's the best crab cake in the world. You know, it's made right down here in Chops. Go figure. I goddamn steakhouse. That's Chops Lobster Bar, which I don't get that name, but what the heck, it's their restaurant. So that's it. So I'd actually like to edit crop. You got a big black napkin back there that doesn't look very black. So let's get rid of it. Doesn't add anything to the picture. And we'll come over this way just a tad. Center up that sucker. There we go. Look at that crab cake. That doesn't say bite me. I don't know what does. That's marvelous. Okay. And we'll make it a favorite. Anytime I work on a photo, I make it a favorite. Well, what the heck? We just spent 5 minutes diddle-daddling with it. Now I'm going to see, there's Marilyn. I don't know if you can see. You see Marilyn right in there, number 3. So, bingo, I'm going to touch her. And I'm going to send her the crab cake. She's getting her toes done right now. The whole Northeast is under a blizzard water. That Marilyn's sitting there getting her toes done. America's great. All right, that's the crab cake. Marilyn said, you got the cheese, you got the meat, you don't have any crackers. Well, I got every cracker known to man. There we go. And look at that pussy. Oh my God, look at those eyes. Wow. Is that blue eyes or what? It's a fluffy sucker. This was an article talking about which cats are most fluffy and like to be cuddled. Well, that cat's being cuddled, that's for sure. All right, so here we got a freeze watch. See, up in Jacksonville, and you know, south, this whole area down here, there's a lot of citrus, all down through here, between Orlando and Tampa, and up north of Orlando. Citrus groves all over the place. So freeze, it's not good. You don't want freeze, because if there's fruit on the trees, then they get heavy with all, they spray water on it to put like a blanket on it. And if there's water, or if it just drizzles, you know, because of the weather you're dealing with, it gets heavy and breaks the branches. Don't want to break a branch on a citrus tree. You want all those branches. So we got a watch in all the blue area and a warning in the light blue area. Yep, there's that bugger. They thought it was going to be up there. It's actually down here. So they missed. Well, that's Saturday at 6 p.m. It may be up there at 6 p.m. Right now it's down southeast of that. Blizzard warning, winter storm watch warning. So you can see the Friday night to Saturday night. It's all not good. Washington is this triangle right there. Right where the eye is on Washington. So I have a daughter floating around up there somewhere. North of the N. Some more, there was actually a video and I didn't notice the white spot. Eesh. That's what they're worried about, if that just floats. If that just floats west a little bit, they're going to take down 74 million people, you know, in serious, the kind of serious weather they've not lived through before. Whoops, they're watching over us. I'm just going through the images I saved since the last time we spoke. There's a bridge, Pennsylvania, that collapsed. How about that? It's a big one. Look at the buses. This is not kiddie toys. You know, it looks like Tonka toys or something. That's a real bus with real flashing red and yellow lights and people running off, trying to, because that slides down, the buses turn over, you get people that, may get dead. So, but the startling factoid, is that we have, in this country, over 600,000 bridges. That is a boatload of bridges. Can you imagine? 600,000 and 45,000 of those bridges have like a serious damage. That needs to be, see, you talk about infrastructure, and these guys are, writing checks to, oh God, fix the bridges. We gave you like $1 trillion. Run out there and fix the bridges. We've got 45,000 bridges that need repair. And they're spending money on, they're calling, Wi-Fi. They're calling that infrastructure. Come on, give me a break. We need real serious bolts and supports and concrete and, that would employ hundreds of thousands of people to fix 40,000 bridges. You need 10 people per bridge. Yeah. What do I know about bridges? I don't know anything about bridges. But I do know that oh God. So 40,000 times 10 is like 400,000. You'd put 500,000 people back to work if you worked on those bridges. Really. But they won't do it. They're not going to fix the frickin' bridges. This one's in Pennsylvania. President was in Pennsylvania. They'll find some token bridge. Well, they'll fix this one, which is a frickin' mess. You got to get heavy cranes in there and all that. I mean, look at all these trees and stuff. To get a heavy crane to lift this stuff up, it's a lot easier to fix it when it's up the way it's supposed to be. You add more supports and it's already up there. Now you've got to lift this thing. And that ain't going to be easy. And you can see from the side, look at the size of the bus, look at the size of the thickness of that, this big wedge that just pulled away, because there was just a support, over on the right side there that gave way. So the whole thing pulled down. Yeah, it's terrible. There's another view of the bridge. Look how big it is. The whole thing just went down. See this whole part right here? You can see with my finger at the point kind of backwards because the camera's over here. This whole part right here whoosh, went down. It's separated. So these guys, you can see the guys up there, flashing lights. That's going to be a mess because you have to lift. Oh my God. You're going to have 50 guys around this bridge working because you got cranes and, geez. Terrible. There's a bigger picture. Whoops. You see here? There's a couple other officers that are just like observing. Of course, you have some observers. And then here's this guy's way out on the edge of the bridge because he's probably safe because this piece broke away. And, you'd have to get underneath that thing. It looks like this piece of concrete is supported. Comes across over to here. So then all this roadway stuff, that's all good. But whatever was underneath this, you know, the bridge, the bridge, it goes across. And you usually don't have big columns coming up from underneath. You know, when the span is going across, that's spans, right? Here's where it was supposed to be connected, you know, right along this ridge. It's gone. It went down. And some of the snow went down, you know, so that's what that is. Oh, God. Well, guess what? That area in Pennsylvania is going to be loused up for a couple of years. Let's say 3. Because it's going to take them, you know, 8 months, 10 months to clean up the mess. They got to clean this up, you know. Generally, there's not too much usable stuff when they disassemble something like that. They got to put in new stuff. But what do I know? Anyway, so that was the big excitement earlier this week, right before the big storm comes. Pittsburgh Bridge collapses ahead of Biden's visit to talk about infrastructure. Yeah, how about fix the bridge? Yeah, this is not complicated. Geez. Oh boy. Here was another article I read. Now, inside down here is a human body, and they've opened up a region in that body, and that's robotics. So this fella, or lady, I don't know, let's just call him a fella. This guy is getting fixed with robotics. Now, and then you see here, it tells you what part of some kind of a bone in there. I don't know, it's a backbone, a leg bone. Some kind of bone. Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd think it was the knee. So the doctor can be, you know, have things on his fingers, and he can be doing this, you know, with the robotics. And then the robotics in the sterile environment deals with, oh yeah, we'll squeeze this and we'll pull that, and you know, I mean, do all this stuff. I don't think it's where they push a button and the robots get in there and do their own thing. And in preparation for the weather that we're having today, now the weather is up in the northeast. Look at that, can't even see the tower. Of course, the tower isn't over there. The tower's over here. That would help. Looking over those rooftops, there should be a tower, but there is no tower. It's trapped in the fog, a very deep fog. So that's the story there. How are we doing temperature-wise here? Wow, this sucker really gets hot. Excuse me a minute, we're just going to rotate this over here for a minute. We're going to pull up this curtain. Yeah. We're going to do that. And then we'll flop it back that way. There we go. Now it should ventilate better back here. Because this is really hot. Okay. How about that? Yeah, you can see all the tools on my thing. So that's what fog looks like 100 feet up from the Boca Raton Resort, looking straight across the fairways, the golf course fairways. There's the robotics. That was the other story. 5G. Now 5G is a real band. I'm going to show you. I have a friend of mine that's a pilot. And of course he knows all about these frequencies. And I have a little tiny bit of knowledge about it. But I'm going to show you. Bingo, this is the story right here. Now everyone's worried about the C-band, right? Well, you can see the US 5G C-band. It's right above the arrow. It's that blue box. And see the frequencies? It's like 3750 to 4000 megahertz. Okay, real high frequency. Very short wavelength. They're inversely proportional. But you see the airplane altimeter? See that right there? Airplane radio altimeter. They're up at, it looks like 4200 to 4400 megahertz. It's not supposed to be over here. It's supposed to be over there. So the airplanes that say they're being interfered with, their radios in their altimeters are, cheap, cheap-ass altimeters. The altimeters work on radio frequency, and they have these stanchions at both ends of the airport and in the middle of the airport. So when the airplane is coming in, it reads these frequency coming out of the altimeter, which is basically like ground zero, tells you where ground zero is, and you can adjust it, They had a movie about that where they adjusted it down. Yeah, no. Anyway, so these planes, kind of come in on autopilot when it comes to altitude. And that altimeter, this is supposed to be, fooling around over here in the 3800 megahertz. They're over here in the 40. They have shields and electronic filters to make sure that any adjacent bands, like here's the 5G for Wi-Fi. See, it's over here. It's in the 5 gigahertz, 5.2, right? Well, that's that's where I have my Wi-Fi, just 100 feet away. I'm not picking up, airplane altimeters. Excuse me. Or the 5G C-band. It's totally out of it's below 4 gigahertz. They're up here in the mid gigahertz. So, you can see the other, the other bands, the C2 band, the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Look how narrow that is. Now, it's narrow on the graph, but it's plenty. It's 2.4 gigahertz. And everyone, when they build their transmitters, they build them to shield out, they call it adjacent channel rejection. And they're supposed to be rejecting adjacent channels. For example, the 3.45 C-band 2, that's 3.45, they mean gigahertz. They just didn't type it in, they didn't have room in the column. See, 2.4 gigahertz, this is 3.45, this is C-band 2. It's this little red doodad right there. Okay. Are they reading that too? The CBRS band, which looks like 3.5 gigahertz. And then you have the ones that the airplane, it's only one, it's the Boeing 777 altimeter. It's the only one so far. There are like 10 planes in the world that are using those altimeters. And for some reason they're at risk because they don't have the proper adjacent channel rejection to be, worrying about this 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi that all our modems use for high-speed internet, coming and going traffic. It's purely commercial traffic for people. And then see Wi-Fi 6E, that's way over here, up in 6 gigahertz. That's not, see now the 5 gigahertz is over there, 5.2 to 5.8 gigahertz. Then they're going to be coming into the Wi-Fi 6. It's a super high frequency, 6 gigahertz frequency, very, very small wavelength. X times lambda equals Y. and the answer and Y is 1. So you multiply the frequency by the wavelength and you get 1. You always get 1. But see this they didn't want to put it on there. Airplane radio altimeter at this 4.2 gigahertz should not be anywhere near interfering with the 5G C-band. It's got plenty of, you see, look how close these are. This is what you want to see right there. Right? So is the 5G interfering with the CBRS? Nope, I haven't read about that. Or here, this little narrow sucker, where you got this blue and this red. So you got the 2.4. This is, all your handheld telephones are 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. When you're walking around the house talking on a telephone, this is the frequency of those transmitters and receivers. They're right in that narrow band, right next to band 41, and right on the other side of WCS. So, anyway, this is the big problem. It's not a big problem. It's called fix the altimeters in the 10 planes in question, because everybody else's plane is flying just fine. So, Verizon and AT&T said, all right, that's all right. We'll give you 6 more months to quantify this problem. We've already extended it twice. You've known about this for like 3 years. Hello. Now all of a sudden, we're going to go figure it out. It's amazing. This is the FAA. They're not very competent. They're not, they're the regulatory body. They tell, they basically guide AT&T and Verizon, into an examination point. They've done all their testing, and they did exactly what I said. They tested their 5G C-band transmitters and receivers, like we got in our phones, transceivers. And on the towers they have up in the air, they got, big transceivers. You don't want to stay up there too long, or your fillings will fall out. The people that climb on those towers. Anyway, they generally don't turn them on until they climb down up to these huge, antennas. They don't have a lot of range, but they're very efficient for this U.S. 5G C-band. They got a nice fat, nice wide spectrum, up to 4 gigahertz. Then no more. And the FAA authorized another spectrum, which is in the, looks like the 4.2 gigahertz. Maybe right down there. Straight up looking. And all the airplanes run in that area. They gave them plenty of, it's not a lot of adjacent channel. It's not like they're over right next to it on 4 gigahertz. They're like 4.2 gigahertz. That's, that's billions, Oh, God. That's a lot of adjacent channel right there. That circle that I could draw within the circle.